Hello, this is Wmpyr. Today I want to talk to you guys about something very, very important. Maybe one of the most important videos that I've made on YouTube. And today we live in the age of information. Our technology has gotten to the point where, we have this thing called the internet, and we have endless amounts of information right at our fingertips. And there's good and bad to that. Because it's so easy to access so much info, and martial arts wise there's tons just on YouTube alone. You got like a million different styles, a million different techniques, methods, training ideas, just endless amounts of info. And there's good and bad to that. It's not just all good. The good thing is you have access to all of that. The bad thing is there's good, there's bad, and there's everything in between. It's all jumbled up, right? So then you go, okay, so then is this about like figuring out which one is good and which one is bad? As long as I figure it out, then I'm good. And the answer is no, it's not that easy. It's not just about like, okay, so this person is quality teacher. This person is a real, fourth degree black belt or whatever, and comes from this lineage and all that. So they have the quality. It doesn't mean that it's good stuff. And it doesn't mean, even if it is good stuff, it doesn't mean that they can teach it. Okay. So there's still a lot of things that you have to consider there. And then you might go, you know what? I don't care about degrees. I don't care about lineage. I don't care about any of that. I just want to be able to learn something where the guy or girl can handle themselves on the street. And then you might see someone that can, but that might just be their God-given talent. Maybe they were born that way. Maybe it was their upbringing. So those things they can't teach you, you know. Or maybe if it's stuff that they can teach, what if you're not right for that? You don't have the ability to learn that because you're a different person. And I've been asked before, like, what would you do in this situation? And I gave them my honest answer, and they were like, I can't do that. Like, not that they physically can't do that, but it's more like mentally. They were like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to stab somebody with a knife. And I'm like, even if they're about to murder you and your family, they're like, no, I still don't want to do that. Well, that's their choice. And yeah, so what I'm trying to say is it's not so simple as just to go, what's good, what's bad. It's not just about figuring that out, okay? And I feel like in today's age, with all this info that's out, it's not really about finding that kind of stuff, finding what's good for you or whatever. I don't think that's what it's really about. And furthermore, I feel like pretty much most techniques, styles, methods, ideas, strategies, tactics have been figured out, more so than ever, because now we have the technology to record and have on file. So today is much less chance of styles dying out. Now, hundreds of years ago, when we didn't have this technology, you might have a guy or a girl who was a genius and had this amazing method, but then he didn't pass it on, and there was no way that he wasn't able to record it, and therefore that method is extinct, right? But today is a much less chance of that, and once again, that also contributes to why there's so much info out there today. So today is not so much about finding a new technique or finding a new style. Today is more about how you organize the stuff that's already out there, how you put it into a usable method, how you put it into a system. To me, that is what it's about today, how you organize things. Okay, so it's kind of like, think of it as like your wallet. How do you put stuff in there? How do you organize it? and what kind of system do you use for your wallet, you know? That is what we're trying to do here with martial arts, okay? And so to give you guys an idea for that, I have 3 steps, okay? And this is my recommendation. So number 1 is pick your battles, okay? Pick your battles. What I mean by that is that at the end of the day, what we're doing in martial arts, you want to be able to use it for self-defense, to protect yourself, your loved ones, family members, that kind of stuff, right? So if that's the case, what style, whatever style that you're training in and whatever technique that you plan to use, what is it for? And then you go, well, it's for self-defense. No, it has to be way more specific. What is the scenario? Okay, so that's what I mean. By self-defense is a lot of different situations. Okay, so you're in the movie theater and this dude comes in and he has an assault rifle. Is that the situation you're talking about? You know? So you need to think about what specifically kind of self-defense you're trying to develop your skills for, okay? And 90% of what I see on YouTube is for street fighting. It's for getting into a street fight. And they think that's for self-defense, and it's not the same. And I feel like a lot of people are way, way off, and they're learning stuff that is not going to help, because that is not the situation that they're really going to be in trouble in, you know. So, or that those skills will cause trouble because those are designed for a street fight, and if you use it, you're going to put yourself in a street fight, you know. So that's number 1. Pick your battles. Number 2 is have a game plan, okay? And you have to have a game plan. What I mean by this is, like, when you go learn martial arts, I don't care if it's boxing, a combat sport like boxing, or I don't care if it's some very traditional Chinese kung fu, okay? When you learn it, first you want to learn it as well as possible. So you're going to be a scribe. You're going to copy it down and be like a photographer. You want it to be exactly like the original as best as you can. You copy, okay? And when you do that, it's like you're walking around with a textbook. Okay, now imagine you go to France and you don't speak French. Okay, so in that situation, you're gonna pull out the textbook, the learn how to speak French textbook, is massive, you know, $60, $70 textbook, and you're gonna whip it out and you're gonna try to talk to the waiter at a restaurant. No, that's not practical, right? So what you got to do is you want like a small notepad that has like the key sentences, key phrases, key words, and that's it. And you might pull that out and try to have a conversation. Okay, so that's exactly what you want with your martial arts. This is what we mean by you got to make it your own. So whatever styles or more than one cross training or whatever, you don't want to be walking around with a textbook. Okay, you want that notepad, that cheat book. That's what I mean by game plan, because that's what you're going to be using in a real life situation. And then number 3, the last step. So number 1 is pick your battles. Number 2 is have a game plan. Number 3 is now we got to focus on the execution of a game plan. Just because you have a game plan doesn't mean that you're going to be able to execute it. And in order to execute it, well, you got to have the ability to execute it. And this is mental, physical, and spiritual. Okay, so all 3 of those need to be considered. And then the next part is it needs to be a realistic game plan. So if the game plan, it requires you to throw the bad guy, and the bad guy is what, 220 pounds, and you're 100 pounds, it just doesn't make sense, okay? So it has to be a realistic, doable game plan. And then the last part for the execution of the game plan is that you gotta look for better. So at any given point, when in a real life situation, things are extremely stressful and there's a lot of pressure. So for that, you just use the game plan. You don't have to think, just do it. But then for other situations, when you are using the game plan, let's say, and you see a better opportunity, then abandon the game plan and go to the better opportunity. That's what you're looking for. You want to have that capability to be able to abandon your game plan and look for better. Okay, so look for better and be able to let go. And this is what Bruce Lee was talking about when he was saying, be flexible like water. So anyway, back real quick review. Just 3 steps. Pick your battles. Number 2 is have a game plan. Number 3 is the execution of a game plan. And the execution of a game plan can be divided into 3 steps or 3 parts. A is the ability to execute it. B is a realistic game plan. And then C is the ability to look for better. Okay, always looking for windows of opportunity. So like you find a rock or something and bash him in the head with it. Maybe that wasn't part of your original game plan, but you saw that, and then you can easily go for something like that. Because just sticking to your game plan can make you a cyclops. It can make you kind of blind towards other openings. Okay. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you all for listening and take care, folks.